And just like we rightly said, the front pages of the newspapers is what we will be looking at right now. Feel free to call. The number will be there on the screen. And once you see it, you can start dialing to react to some of the stories we've taken right from the 7 o'clock hour when we kicked off Breakfast Central. We do have joining us Mr. Dotun Ojon, Public Affairs Analyst. Thank you so much for being here, and good morning to you.
It's good to be here. Good morning, Olive. Yes.
Good morning.
You don't seem very happy. You seem like you are very upset. Maybe we should just attack the pink elephant in the room and start with the statement that Sheikh Jinge the statement he made about Muslim tickets and referring to Christians as infidels. Yeah.
So I really like the way the last analyst actually put it. It's important. And in one of my books on leadership, I put it that no community can move forward when people govern, especially in Africa, with the baggage of religion. When you see our community today, nobody is free. You may think, oh, because I'm a Muslim, that I'm actually free from all of these things. Nobody is free. Let me do a simple analysis from what he has said. He said the people, majority of the people up north there, don't see Southern Muslim as authentic Muslim. That then tells you that anytime they zone the presidency or anytime it's the turn of the South to produce a president, for the fear of not wanting to have a Muslim ticket, a Southern Muslim may not want to run. So if you look at it the way it is now, it means that whenever it comes to the turn of the South, Christians will always want to come up so that they can actually pick another Muslim. By the time you see all of this, you discover that religion, and I had repeatedly said this, that religion had done more harm to us as a country than even the good that democracy is trying to do.
That's a tough one.
Let's get into the papers this morning and see what the front page of the paper is. And I mean, that's really a great quote to remember. Religion is doing us a lot of harm. And politicians will always wield it. And it's a shame when we see that typically it's politicians that we see doing this, but now the religious leaders are now the ones wielding it.
So sorry. He made mention of a point. In fact, the politician is the problem. And I've repeatedly said it. He said it that when people come out to speak, that there are people in government that share the same ideology. And I've repeatedly said this, that there's no how Boko Haram will have recorded the successes they recorded without people in government who actually share their sentiment, who are supporting them, who believe that truly Boko Haramism is doing the work of Allah.
Okay, let's get into the papers this morning and start with Al Jazeera. On the front page of Al Jazeera newspaper, we have Osun gubernatorial elections. Atiku Mark Aregbesola storm state ahead of August 15 D-Day. Rally support for ADC. This is the fourth time I'm standing on this podium. Each time I stood here, you have given me your vote. I cannot forget that because your daughter is in my house, Atiku says. Lassa fever, NCDC records 1,000 confirmed cases, 237 deaths. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Police foil bandit attack in Sokoto, recover ammunition. 2027, Makinde Southwest APM governorship candidates meet. Police arrest 23 foreigners for alleged Ponzi scheme and visa scam. Lagos FCT Rivers account for 43% of 4.52 trillion naira state debt. UNESCO Japan train Niger teachers youths on flood mitigation. I beg your pardon. Revenue Monitoring Group Lords Customs CG over trade security technology reforms. These are the stories on the front page. Well, let's talk about the big one. Atiku and Mark Aregbesola storm state ahead of Osun. Let's talk about your thoughts about the Osun elections.
Okay, so Osun elections.
I don't know if you saw the video, the interview we had with tiny. We caught the end of the interview, but the Commissioner of Police in Osun State was saying that the violence we're seeing is not politically motivated, that it is attacks and reprisal attacks. So maybe let's have you speak to that.
So where's the attack coming from?
Valid question.
Yes, at least we didn't have this about a year before now, and it's been minimal. I say it again. I'm going to throw it again at the corridor of the politician. You see, when you have people who think that they own a country or that without being a political power, they cannot amount to anything, then they do everything possible to actually ensure that they either get power, retain same, or dictate who gets power. And once you build a community where there are people like that, then it weakens the entire system. Ideally, nobody should be coming out to say the police is the problem. If our systems were working very well, the police should not be the problem. But at every point in time, the police is also a victim of the politician. I have been at elections, I've supervised elections, I've participated in elections, and I see the way politicians actually treat the police. They just want to bully everybody to line, especially when you see politicians who have national power. They want to bully everybody with appointment. They want to bully everybody with an opportunity that they have to sack them. They just want to bully everybody. So the politician is the reason why the system is not working. The politician is the reason why even the will of the people most of the time. And I can talk about also the unwillingness of the people to have credible leadership. I can talk about the poverty that they express on the day of election. But most importantly, the politician has always been our problem. And until we get to a point where people properly understand the concept of democracy, that you cannot take out the people from the equation of democracy. In fact, democracy is the only kind of government that puts people at the center. And as long as we have people running away from election, politicians will continue to manipulate the system. So until we get credible people, not just to contest election, but to populate the process of election. Sometimes I have people work in INEC, and I pity them with the way politicians treat them. In fact, they will become so relevant before election. You see politicians call them. My classmate is one of the electoral people in one of the local government. Once it's 1 year to election, you see politicians relate with him. They will call him. They will want to make him very important. And immediately they win election, it is bygone. They just disappear. They don't get to call him until maybe after 4 years that they need him for any assignment. So it is the politician that derails all the system in Nigeria. And until we have credible people who choose who lead them at the end of the day, we'll continue to have this circle of argument. Oh, it is not because of election, it is not because of this. But the question again that we will raise is, how is it that 1 year before now, we do not have this kind of crisis that we have in Osun State? And just a few weeks to election, all of these things are coming up. Very valid, though.
And I worry about 2027 general elections, because if this is happening in Osun State, I fear what might become of us, come January 2027 as a nation.
So some people that are not in power, some people that are not in APC, have continued to express the belief that the federal government is using Osun State as some kind of case study or to test water of what is doable with the Nigerian people and what is not doable. And until people get to understand that the politician does not have power until they first test what the people are willing to accept. If it gets to a point where people vote and they say they are not going to accept manipulation, you will see that everybody will sit back and re-strategize, knowing that the people are not ready. But once we are able to bully people to silence, once we are able to arrest people, I saw the arrest of one of the commissioners in Osun State, and I really listened and saw the interview. And I also listened to what the police said. There was no point in arresting that man. And when you continue to do things like this, it creates the impression in the community that there's power in Abuja that's actually backing you to do all of this. So I think they are just using Osun to test the water of what the people will accept at the end of the day.
Okay. And I don't know what our reaction would be to let them know that we're not going to accept nonsense, because, like my Yoruba brethren will say, we're laughing.
Now, so the word we are not going to accept is not to be said. It's an action that must be shown.
Exactly.
So when people go out to vote, and it starts with how much are you willing to collect on the day of election?
They are collecting rice already.
Yes, so
branded rice and branded bread.
Yes, if people line up on the day of election and they say, oh, we are not going to collect anything, we just want to vote our conscience, at least reasonable percentage, that will have given a clear communication and conversation to the ruling class that, oh, these people are not just going to accept any kind of manipulation.
But what about collecting and still voting conscience? They say collect, but when you get there, vote your conscience.
The thing is that collection has a way of blinding you when you want to take action. I've never trusted any Nigerian, or I've never seen any Nigerian who actually took money and goes to say, oh, I'm going to vote my conscience. The fact that you took the money in the first place. Have I told you the story of a young lady that I'm helping in my community? On the day of election, I was participating in that. I was running that particular election. So and we've extended a bit of help to her. So I actually ran into her. She was trying to collect money to vote. So immediately she saw me. She said, oh, Boda, no, just allow me to collect this money. See, I have 2 voters cards. I will use the second voters card to go and vote in the other unit. I said, okay, I understood. Okay. You know, you are not supposed to have 2 voters cards in the first place. So
that's why my mouth is open.
Yeah, she told me that. And as God will have it, I saw her actually cast her ballot for the party that she collected money from. And she moved to the other polling unit. And because that was my community, I actually also trekked to the polling unit to check what was happening in the polling unit. I have seen her collecting money from another political party to vote for them. And this is the man that has helped you, I don't want to say all your life. This is the man that you have known. So in that instance, I am not going to say that I've ever seen somebody who actually had collected money in the past and voted his or her conscience. So, and I'm not hopeful that that will happen. We must just get to a point where people must understand that their destiny is being decided with the vote cast, with that vote cast, and they are willing to do anything to forego any kind of thing that will make them go against their conscience.
You know how we are, you know what is even surprising, Joe and Dotun, is how we have normalized what is actually a crime, what our laws have prescribed as a crime. Giving or receiving of bribe on election day. It is a crime, but look at here. And this one was even
laying curses.
She was even laying curses so that if you do not vote for them, you will not make progress. If you collect their rights and you do not vote for them, you will not make progress. Back to sender. Both the collector and the giver.
And the giver, yes.
All are guilty.
Do you know that with the new electoral law now, you're not supposed to belong to any two political parties at the same time? Mm-hmm. Go check the back end of all the political parties in Nigeria. You will see, I don't know whether there's triple registration. You will see the name of people in APC, you will see them in PDP, you will see them in ADC. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that it's the same political people that populate all the political parties. Mm-hmm. The ones that are not participating are just not participating. And there's nothing anybody is saying about that.
Let's go to the paper very quickly. Let's move to the Leadership newspaper. Leadership has at the top there, Governor Yusuf approves salary increase for Kano University's workers. Nice. Page 4. Northern leaders in Anambra clear Obi of mosque demolition, profiling allegations. Page 6. Only 40% of Nigerian births registered. NPC raises the alarm. Only 40% of Nigerian births registered. Wow. Okay, that's the population census. 456.5 billion debt. NEC takes over Kaduna Disco for second time in 30 months. Osun 2026, the delegate's wife leads protest against violence. Oil companies offered 68.1 million barrels of crude to Dangote refinery in Q2. I won't be political godfather to my successor, Makinde says.
It's a super story.
Sheikh Gumi reacts to Sheikh Ginger's comment on Muslim ticket. ASU gives 21 universities 14 days to implement 2025 agreement. That's what they do. But let's look at the big one right here. Let's also focus on the fact that Osun 2024, Adeleke's wife leads protests against violence. I know we've talked about Osun State not long ago. Also, maybe Makinde would do. I won't be political godfather to my successor. Is that possible in politics?
That's not possible. It's not possible with the character of people. The truth is that there's a misconception in political system in Nigeria where a philosopher had come out to say that if you do not have a successor, that you are a bad leader. There's a quote like that. And we have indirectly weaponized that to mean that I must appoint whosoever is going to come after me. And the problem with godfatherism, political godfatherism, as we practice it in Nigeria, is the fact that somebody helps somebody to become something. And the person is waiting that every process of government must tax it through his table. That's where the problem is. They want to look into the book, and I keep asking myself, if you do not trust my capacity in the first place, why will you force me on the people? Mm-hmm. If you do not trust that I should be able to independently carry out projects, embark on programs and do policies that will benefit the people, why did you support me in the first place? So it has shown over the years with the reality of what we've seen, including even with the sitting president, including with virtually all of these people that are top-notch politicians today, that the essence of putting somebody in power is for you to be able to control them, not just to control them as a people, to also be able to continue to control the resource of the state. So if a Makinde is coming out as a born-again politician who is having an idea that, oh, whosoever comes after me, I'm not just going to come to the government house.
It's a political statement.
So that's what I'm saying. He might actually be a born-again politician, but for us to believe him, we just look back into what others have done, and we use that to judge him. So I have a bit of doubt in my mind that he will be able to do that. That is if he's even able to get his candidate to win election in the first place. Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about Sheikh Gumi. I was really interested in seeing what his reaction to the story is, and I'm just going to run you through what he said. Of course, Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi made comments in response to what Sheikh Yahya Jinger said regarding the Muslim ticket. He said, Gumi said that Jinger should be excused for his position, arguing that the plateau-based cleric operates in an environment where Muslims face what he described as excessive religious bigotry. He made these remarks in his Facebook post. He said, and I quote, Sheikh Jinger should be excused for his extreme view in politics. He dwells in the eye of the storm of excessive bigotry against Islam. Jinger, of course, had recently praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm going to continue to quote what he said. He said, just recently, a mere Muslim VC in Plateau State is stirring controversy. On the other hand, the opposition is not also free from using religion to garner votes, he said. In a multi-religious entity, religion should not be dragged into the quagmire of dirty politics, he said. I'm trying to understand this statement. Is he in a way defending him and saying, you know, kind of what they said when MC Oluomo came out and made that statement about Chinedu and people not coming out to vote, and, you know, the police then came out and said, oh, it was just a joke, ignore him. So here he's saying that they experience a lot of religious bigotry, just overlook it. Is that what he's saying? No,
so what he's saying is actually supporting his view, saying that this man is speaking from his own experience within, also what he has experienced within Plateau State. Now, let me tell you something about religion. Have you ever noticed any bomb blast what's the home of the Muslims? In Mecca. Have you ever heard of any bomb blast in Mecca?
No, I haven't.
It tells you that our own kind of religion is actually a different kind of religion. And that was why I made that quote some 3 years ago, that Nigerians in pursuit of God, they found religion. But in the exercise of religion, they missed God. Because our own kind of religion is completely different. In fact, Christians are not excused. Christianity now, we almost have about 3 to 4 standards. You get to a church. If I enter my own church in Europe, I don't know it's my own church. Some of the things they permit there, they call it a sin here in Nigeria. That's double standard. That's virtually what we do. So our own, and that's why a writer had said that serving the Nigeria kind of God is the most difficult thing to do. Because everybody thinks that this road leads me to my God, and if you don't take this road, you are an infidel. It doesn't matter what you think. And we have imported that into governance. And that's why favoritism, we continue to say, oh, we have relegated competence and expertise to the background. Everybody is looking, oh, is he my religion? Does he speak my religious language? Can he speak in tongue? And you have forgotten, I said it here last week, that in the history of stealing in Nigeria, that I've known since I've been following democracy since 2003, go and look at them. It's either they are a tongue-speaking Christian or they are a Muslim who don't miss mosque on Friday. In fact, the third part of our religion, the traditionalists, you hardly even get their name there, except their involvement in kidnapping, when they do charms to kidnappers. But in terms of stealing from government, it is this same set of people. What I'm saying in essence is that we cannot expect development carrying the bag of religion the way we are carrying it. So a Southerner Muslim now cannot indirectly become a president because he cannot pick a Northern Christian to balance his ticket. So we'll continue to go back and forth like this until, God forbid, will not destroy our nation.
Honestly, God forbid, yes. Really. But just from your perspective, as quickly as you can, because I want to take another story, what action or what response do you expect from the presidency? And are there certain key people you expect to respond to this?
Okay, so I will have expected action. I would have ordinarily expected action. But I don't expect action from a government who has all its advisors as attackers. So I don't expect any action from them. They will just allow time because, number one, they will not change the Muslim ticket. There's nothing anybody will do about that. So
I agree.
I do not expect anything. We'll just allow time because we believe that time heals all wounds. We just allow time to just pass by and everybody will forget. You know, Nigeria, I call us a country of one issue per week. After this week now, another issue will come up and we'll forget all of these things. And that's why government continues to manipulate, because they know that our retentive memory when it comes to action, policy, and program of government is extremely limited. We don't ask the necessary question. And once you ask question, it does not even matter where you are. If you tell truth to power, it doesn't matter who you are, then you are anti-government. And the opposition too is not even playing the opposition because they do not understand how to play it. They think it's by calling some people idiot. No. It is strategic engagement of government. Let the people say, oh, they did well here, but here they have failed. And you leave it to the people to make a decision. Not that everybody will attack you once you speak about one good that the government does, and everybody loves you when you speak against them.
All right, we have Ezekiel calling from Ibadan.
Yeah.
Let's quickly take that call. Good morning, Ezekiel. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead with your comment.
Good morning, Ma. Good morning,
Good morning.
Well done. Well done on the show.
So we can't hear you. Can you speak up?
Hello, Ezekiel's baby. We can't hear you, please. You can speak up.
Why your daughter's voice is louder than yours?
I tell
I'm not
you.
the type to call on the show. Honestly, I'm not the type to call on the show. But I'm very, very interested. I'm very, very interested in this particular topic you guys are talking about. That is why I had to call from Ibadan. Sorry.
Thank you for calling. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Ma.
Thank you.
You want to drop a comment?
No, the daughter has already dropped one. So
All right, thank you very much, Ezekiel, for calling.
I was going to ask. I mean, so far so good. I was expecting that by now, a Daniel Bwala would have jumped online. The SSA to the president would have jumped online condemning.
what they are trained to do or hired to do.
Let me even check.
Okay, while you're checking that, I want us to quickly take this story.
Go ahead.
August 18th is around the corner. G100, you are a politician yourself. You saw them attempt to do this with the ADC, and it failed. But this time it would seem that all the political parties are trying to come under one umbrella of G100. 2027, opposition revives coalition against Tinubu. That's the big story on Daily Trust, and I'll have you respond to that. But let's hear from Uche calling from Abia. Good morning, Uche. Thank you for calling.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Uche.
Good morning.
Nigerians are seeing the hypocrisy of Daniel Bwala. Bwala, you know, 2020, is it 2023 or 2020? 2023, he came out of ADC because of a Muslim ticket.
Oh,
This time around, we are still having Muslim tickets. Bwala attacked the bishop, Onaika. Bwala responded to the man. Today, we are not hearing Bwala and Ononoga, regards to the Sheikh, comment. It's a pity. When people are in power, I have told you people, time without number, those people that are around the, Aso Rock, look at their picture today. Look at their physique. Look at the way they look like. And watch their past pictures. You see, because they are feeding fat, they are promoting evil. Nigeria will not get it correctly the way we are running the government. I have said it time without number. Mr. President have not condemned what is happening in Osun. Presidency have not condemned, using talks. I have said this time without number.
Well,
and I want you people, I advise you people to discuss about these talks with regards to 2027. Journalists, they are watching you people. Those talks are watching you people. Sorry to say it, I love you people. Without you people, we won't be knowing what this government is doing. I want you people to be alive. Nigerians should watch out. The Nigerian police are not talking about talks. Even the military are not discussing about talks. Presidency is not talking about talks.
Right.
Are they going to use talks in 2027 to run election?
All right.
Look
Thank
at
you very
their
much
primaries.
for that comment. Thank you. It's always great to hear from you.
We have just 2 minutes to go.
We have 2 minutes to go.
I hope Uche is not taking my picture to go and keep so that I can compare when I get to the presidency.
When you are fat. You know, he said go and look at before and after.
So I want the opposition with the G100 to learn from what happened in 2014. Because President Tinubu is our president now, because a lot of people don't like his economic policy, we have failed to learn from him. One of the things that they need to learn from President Tinubu is his ability to lay down, to sacrifice when necessary. If he has not agreed not to run as the vice president, by now he will not be sitting as president. So how do you bring all of these people together, Atiku, Obi, Makinde, all of them together, and make them to make a decision, to make a sacrifice, and push for a single candidate that will be able to defeat the president? If they do this, it's going to be a tough course for the president, because no amount of rigging will amount to the popularity they will be able to harness within the community. But again, every one of us, we keep putting ourselves ahead of the society, and we keep thinking, it's my turn now, as if 2031 will not come. I just want them to learn that lesson of sacrifice. That's the only way that they can make something out of this election.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us and sharing your thoughts on this.